Because everyone wants to build like mostly fourplexes, right?
Ideally, for fourplex, you need to have 50 by 120 minimum. And I always prefer the corner lot, but you can still have the fourplex. So construction is like about 8 to 12 months. So it's all depend when you are starting.
Everyone's talking about CMHC MLI Select program. So as a builder, what has changed in terms of the build quality, materials you use, etc.?
In commercial units, like you have a soft cost, which is approximately $150,000 to $175,000.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm joined with Manny at Good Earth Builders. So in today's session, we are going to be discussing about everything about new builds and new construction for the CMHC stuff as well. And we're going to directly hear from a builder who's doing these multiple projects. So Manny, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good, not bad. So let's get started, you guys. So one of the most important things when it comes to construction is, there's single family custom homes, luxury custom homes, and these multifamilies, right? So Manny, quick question. So if someone comes to you and says, hey, I want to build a multifamily CMHC, fourplex or triplex, what is the initial steps that they should look into?
So the initial step, acquire the land. So we need to make sure they are acquiring the land with the right zoning. So that way they don't have to wait for a long time, right? Yeah, because we have a blanket zoning in the city, but some of the lots are smaller. You can sometimes people get confused, like zoning is there, but lot size is less. We cannot have a multiplex on that.
Right.
So you gotta make sure you have a proper lot size with the right zoning.
And then in terms of zoning here in Calgary, what's the average lot size that say, because everyone wants to build mostly fourplexes, right? Or sometimes people do a triplex as well. But if they're going for a fourplex, what kind of lot size do they want to go for? And is there certain communities that you would recommend as well?
So ideally, for fourplex, you need to have 50 by 120 minimum. If it's bigger, that's more good. And I always prefer the corner lot, but you can still have the fourplex in a lot as well. And community-wise, it's depend on your budget as well, because some communities are very good for rental purpose, because at the end goal is for renting, right? You gotta make sure you can rent it out quickly and get a maximum rent out of it. So example, if you build it in Killarney area, it's gonna be expensive, but you'll be collecting good rent from there. But there's a lot of other areas like a Bonus, Hellhurst, like Highland Park, Tuxedo. Those communities are good as well. So you gotta do some homework to make sure so the the rental area you are focusing on.
Right. So you know how when you mentioned about certain communities like Highland Park, Tuxedo, Killarney, some inner cities, sometimes maybe close to university, etc. So typically, let's say someone comes to you, you're gonna set everything up for them, and let's say they buy the land. So as soon as they buy the land, what's kind of the next steps? If you can walk us through the overall timeline of getting to work with the city, getting the project.
So first thing, as I said, land. So I missed one thing. I just want to add up in it. So when you buy the land, please make sure. Sometimes people doesn't know there's any utility right away in the land. You gotta make sure those things. And second thing, there's any electrical pole in the middle of the lot. Sometime in back alley you have electrical pole in the middle, and to moving that, it's a ton of cost you are spending later on. So these things you gotta make sure.
So when you say utility right of way, it's basically for those people who's watching, the city has a ownership of part of the land which we cannot build on.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And then can we get rid of it, or it's going to be there on the lot?
It's a land to land. Sometime it's right where I can tell you one of my land. So my client bought it in a forest lawn.
Okay.
And it's very old community, so they had a utility right away. But when we did some investigation, so it was buried away. So they already changed the route, so there's no problem. But there's a process you have to go through it.
Right.
Yeah.
So just make sure there's no utility right away. Sometimes there's restricted covenants, which holds you back from building these larger units on those kind of lots. And then, so once they secure the lot, what are the next steps?
So when they secure the lots, the next step is hiring the architect. But I always prefer engage your builder as well. The reason is sometime like right, the architect and builder have to work together. There's a lot of factors like right where architect miss that, so builder will like right explain you in detail, and that will be like great cost effective later on.
So technically, let's say when people are getting into this product or they want to get into these new builds, they find the land, and at the same time they got to be working with a builder and an architect to get the permits and such going with the city.
That's right.
And now, if we're like, I know you build quite a lot in Calgary. So what's kind of like the permit timing here in Calgary? What we're seeing?
So permit is depend on the city, like right timeline. Sometimes they're extremely busy nowadays, like right, yeah, because lots of multiplex happening in Calgary, so they're a little behind. But typically timeline anywhere from 4 to 6 months right now.
4 to 6 months is just to work with the city on getting permits.
That's right.
So basically, if someone wants to buy a lot, they're just holding on to it 4 to 6 months. They probably have to rent it out or something like that.
That's right.
Is there any challenges in terms of kickbacks from the city where they would be like, hey, even though zoning is there, and is there any chance that they will come back and it's like you cannot build like a multifamily on that lot?
So again, it's the same factor as I explained before. If you haven't checked, like if there's any utility right away, those kind of stuff like right in there. So other than that, I don't think so. But I didn't hear anything like that, like right, yeah. So city back out, like right, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think like right, yeah. If everything is good, so it's just the timeline you have to wait.
Okay. So let's say someone buys the land, get the permits, and like when you start construction, I know in Calgary we have harsh winters and we might not be able to work during the winters. But what's the typical timeline? Let's just call it let's take a scenario of building a fourplex, which is 4 units above grade, obviously, and 4 basement units. So typically each unit would be what, 1250 square feet above grade?
Yeah, somewhere 1250 to 1350.
So 5,000 square feet above grade.
That's right. So 5,000 above grade and with the legal suites. So timeline for construction, I'm talking about the construction only. Sometimes people get confused, including the permit time. So that's not permit time included in there. So construction is like about 8 to 12 months. So it's all depend when you are starting. So like, right, beginning of the year, like March, April, May, that's the best time to start. So then you can finish up like right before the Christmas. But if you are starting, let's say middle or third quarter of the year, then it takes a little bit longer because sometimes we have some hiccups in the winter time. That's why you always says like, right, yeah, consider as 8 to 12 months.
Does the cost differ if you were to build, let's say, starting in summer or starting in winter time? Like, does it affect the cost of the build?
A little bit, yeah, because in winter time, like, right, yeah, when you pour the concrete, so you gotta use like, right, some kind of chemicals because of the temperature and stuff, and sometime like, right, you need to cover with the heating system and stuff, like, right, yeah, so that's like cost a little bit, like, right, goes up, like if you start in the winter time.
Gotcha. So, so in terms of construction, now that we're talking about construction, Manny, so if you can give us a quick breakdown of the hard cost, like what's the price per square foot, what kind of finishes are we looking at? So if you can give us a quick rundown.
So hard cost, again, we are talking about the rental units. So in rental units, we start 175 per square feet. So that's including like great durable stuff, like great vinyl planks, which is like 7 with the wider planks, and quartz countertop, like all those stuff, like right, you need to make sure because the rental units, you need something durable, like right, which lasts long. So it's the prices start like right, anywhere about 175 per square feet.
170. That's including the basement square footage.
That's right. That's including the basement square footage.
And that's kind of like the hard cost that we're talking about, right?
Only hard cost, like right, yeah. So people sometimes get confused. So there's like right, soft cost as well. This is a commercial project. So in single family unit, there's not much soft cost involved, but in commercial units, like you have a soft cost, which is approximately $150,000 to $175,000.
So the soft costs are including like the architects and city fees.
That's right. So soft costs including architect, all the fees, DSSP, engineering cost, and your city services hookup, those kind of stuff.
Okay, gotcha. So, for example, now that everyone's talking about CMHC MLI Select program, and then we are seeing a lot of multifamily getting built within inner city communities of Calgary. So as a builder, what has changed for you guys when it comes to actually building, let's say going from a duplex that you guys used to build now to a fourplex? Like obviously it's a rental. So what has changed in terms of the build quality, materials you use, etc.?
So when we are building duplex, so it's mostly because we build custom homes. So it's like right, yeah, mostly like right, the owner is living inside. So that's not like right, their focus is not rental. So they always go for high end product like a hardwood flooring, and in the kitchen, like right, they want painted kitchen like a shaker style or different kind of styles, and they use a lot of like accent walls and stuff. But when it comes to the rental, you gotta make sure like right, any material you use is durable. Like first, like your flooring. So flooring has to be, I would say, like it's vinyl, so which is like 100% waterproof because your rental, you don't know, like right, if there's somebody drop the water on it, so you gotta make sure like you are covered. Okay? And second thing, you don't want like right so many accent wall in the house. The reason is if there's scratches, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be costly, like right, to repair those. And the third thing is like the kitchen. Kitchen is the most important area. The reason is sometimes you get a bad renter, they don't clean good. So you gotta make sure use that kind of material which somebody even don't clean for 3 months, and your cleaner can get those things out like right in an hour or kind of thing. But some of the stuff like we gotta make sure like those kind of material we use for these kind of projects.
I've heard that I think you were mentioning something like we should use non-breathable materials for the kitchen cabinets. So even if there's smoke or curry getting spilled or whatever, if you just wipe it, it'll just come off, right?
That's right. So yeah, so because it's a non-breathable, so it means like right, no dirt can go inside. So it's only the surface, like right, so it's easy to clean.
Okay, okay. So you know how now CMHC, when they have the three criterias, they say affordability, energy efficiency, and accessibility wise to make sure the property qualifies for it. So are you doing anything different to meet those requirements, or how do we work with that?
Yes, like right, yeah. So if you want to go for CMHC MLI Select program, so you gotta make sure like right, all these like three factors. So that way you can get 100 points. So we make sure like right, we fulfill like right their requirement. So that way you can get a like right, yeah, CMHC easily. And mostly my customer like clients like right, they're getting like right CMHC MLI Select program.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we gotta make sure like right, all their requirement fulfilled in that.
Okay. So when it comes to energy efficiency, I'm guessing it's like triple pane windows, more insulation, and high efficiency furnaces, etc. But like as you were saying earlier, before we started this podcast, most people are just going with the affordability index because our rent with the CMHC cap here is higher, and which is like $1,700, 1740 or something. And people cap to like if 25% of the unit has to be capped. So if you're building an eightplex, 2 units has to be capped. People just cap two basement suites, and basements we are only getting what 1,400, 1,500.
That's right. That's right. So that's why like right, yeah, we're now focusing on affordability as Calgary. Like we already, yeah, we already afford
It
affordability.
it
Like right,
comes
yeah, it
within the
comes with it.
affordability, and
That's
then
right.
you're getting the points there.
That's right.
Okay, okay. Sounds good. Now, when let's say for example, a lot of people get confused about, hey, can I build something with only 5% down? Because CMHC offers construction financing as well, and also on a purchase. Purchase is easy because if they were to buy something which is let's say a fourplex with suites, roughly price is what 3 million around that. They put 5% down, is easy to qualify. But what if someone wants to build using CMHC MLI financing? I know you have a couple projects going on. Can they still build with only 5% down on the construction, or how does that?
Good question. Like right, yeah, this is every day. People get confused on that. So 5% down, it's a ready product when you buy. Same like right as you explained, like right, so you are taking the possession at the end. Yes, you can just put down like 5% and buy that project. Let's say like right, you wanna buy a lot and go through all those stuff, then you need more cash flow. Yes, at the end, like right, yeah, it's gonna be a 5% as CM when the CMHC will kick in, it will return your like great investment. But people get confused, they need a more cash flow. So cash flow approximately depending on the project, like right, you'll be looking at about 20 to 30% liquid cash, because there's a certain point like right, you gotta cover before the CMHC kick in.
So you're saying like, let's say when we start the construction, let's say we pour the foundation or do the framing, and before the CMHC fund comes in, you still have to pay the builder. That's the amount that you would need to float in between,
Yeah, I
right?
can give you example. Let's say you need to buy the land. So in like commercial, like you put down 25% down payment, which is like, right, let's say the lot is about $600,000. Like, right, you are putting anywhere like, right, about $150,000 somewhere like that. And plus holding cost. Second, your soft cost, which I already mentioned before, because soft costs, like, right, yeah, it's gonna start like as soon as you hit from the architect. So it's approximately 150 to $175,000, like, right, you have to spend, which is like CMHC will cover it, but CMHC only kick in when the construction starts, right? So means to getting to that point, you need to hire architect. All the soft costs you have to pay from your pocket. You have to pay like all the builder's deposit. Obviously, they have to demo the house. You have to pay for it, dig the lot, and do the foundation. So CMHC usually like, right, wants to kick in like, right, in the construction phase. In that time, they will pay in draw payment, and then mostly money will come back. But sometimes people get confused. Oh, I just need a 5% and I can build it from the ground up. No, that's not true, right? Yeah. So yes, like at the end, it's only 5% down, but you need a more cash flow.
Well, that's a big myth which has been like broken down, you guys, because a lot of people still ask us, "Hey, can I still build with a 5% down?" Which is not true. On paper, it would look like it, but you still need more cash in between to float. Um, People love numbers, Manny. So let's say someone is building, like, how much money are they making in profit? I know this is probably nothing that you can disclose on because you're doing a lot of projects, but like for the viewers here, like why are people jumping into these bills, and how much profit are they making on the back end?
So just want to confirm profit, you mean like somebody wants to build and sell it?
Yeah, so someone,
Yeah.
let's say, who buys the land,
Yeah.
right, and let's say they're working with you on the build and such, and they're going to sell it. Like, what's the margin they're seeing?
So I so I just want to clear one thing in here. Sometimes people think like, right, they can build it with the CMHC and they can sell it. No, CMHC like, right, wants you to hold the property. They don't like you to sell right away. So let's say like, right, you're an investor, you just want to build something and sell it. I would say like either use your own cash, bank mortgage, traditional mortgage, like, right, or private lending. So yes, there's a quite a bit like good profit in it. It's all depend again, lot to lot, size, and which area are you in. And sometime like, right, yeah, you make like, right, about 40-50% return
On the capital.
on the capital like, right, you're spending
So
in.
in terms of numbers, you were telling us, let's say you buy a land for 700, construction cost all in, and then resale around 3 million. So you mentioned about 175, so 5,000 square feet plus the soft cost, you're hitting around 1.6 million, what I would say.
That's right. So let's say like, right, you want to talk about the numbers. So numbers like, right, yeah, the construction hard cost anywhere from 1.5 to 1.6 million, $700,000 your lot. Again, 150 to $175,000 your soft cost, and then don't forget your holding cost, which is like, right, a lot, because this project, if you see like, right, when I explain like, right, permit's gonna take 4 to 6 months, construction gonna take 8 to 12 months. You're looking at anywhere from 12 to 18 months. It's all depend like, right, how your project goes. So that holding cost, sometime it's a lot. Like sometime like, right, if you're getting the private lending, you will be spending like, right, about $8 to $10,000 a month only interest payment. So you have to consider that like cost as well. So you'll be looking at about ready product about 2.4, 2.5 million. And right now you can easily sell for like, right, about 3 million. And if it's a nicer area, 3.2, 3.3 million.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
that's definitely solid profits in there. Manny, one thing that you were mentioning about like private financing, a lot of people they don't understand how, let's say, financing works on the land. So when they're buying a land, as you were saying, they can either go traditional financing like a bank, or they can work with a private lender, and I'm sure they can reach out to you and you'd be able to help them out too, right? So
Yeah.
what's their typical down payment? They're just looking for the land if they're going private, and what are the interest rate that you're seeing in the market right now?
So best way is like if you go with the bank, like traditional mortgage, always a cheaper option. But again, sometime when you tell them their plans, like, right, they don't want, because it comes to the commercial. That's a tricky part. When you're buying, it's a residential, then it's converting to commercial. So that's why like sometimes the bank is hesitate like, right, hey, how it's gonna happen, because after 3-4 months you're gonna tear down the house, right, and it's gonna be the commercial project. So then you have to get another mortgage, like, right, in a commercial department. And recently I hear like, right, it's very hard to get from the bank, but yes, you can try. And if somebody has a good connections and good credit history, then it's easy to get a traditional mortgage. But for investors, usually it's B lenders or private. So private lending, like, right, they always need about 20 to 25% down payment, and in construction they cover up to like 75%, 70 to 75% of the value. But their interest rates are high, where traditional is like, right, 5 to 6% for construction mortgage, and for private mortgage you're looking at about 11 to 13%, depending on the lender.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So let's say someone owns a land, they could just reach out to you right now, and then you'd help them with every single process from A to Z.
Yes, yeah. So if somebody owns the land or even looking for a land, yeah, just give us a call. Like, right, yeah, we can set up a time. We can explain you in detail from A to Z. We can help you out.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks a lot, you guys. We're gonna wrap it up today. Or is there any additional thing that we'd have to discuss there, Manny? Or
No, yeah, if you're looking to build like, right, any multiplex or custom built home, yeah, reach us like, right, and call us or set up a time, and then we can explain you from ground zero to build everything.
okay, awesome. So you guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys found great value in it. There's so many golden nuggets that we uncovered in this session here. We are going to do more of these sessions as well. And thanks, Manny, for coming along, taking your
You're
time,
welcome.
and
Yeah.
having a seat with us here. We're going to have all the info in the description here on YouTube, you guys. And we're going to be doing more of these sessions. So make sure to subscribe. And if you did find value in it, share it with someone who would also find value in it. And we'll see you in the next one.